And welcome to World War G, Ogden, Utah's #1 podcast. I'm Troy.
I'm AJ.
You can be my wingman anytime. Bullshit. You can be mine.
All right, let's jump right into today in geek history.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
And today in geek history.
Today, May 19th, well, this takes us way back, 1431, having led the French army in a momentous victory over England during the 100 Years' War, Joan of Arc was charged with heresy, witchcraft, and burned at the stake.
Oh, okay.
Also, I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, I've seen the movie, and it's a lengthy movie. Like, I know they've had a couple of, like,
They
films.
have. Yeah. I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen any Joan of Arc movie.
Just from what you've heard, like, in school and in your own reading and stuff, that's what you kind of know about her.
Yeah, that she wasn't able or allowed to fight because she was a woman, but she was a very religious woman, and so she prayed to God, and in her mind, at least, thought that God told her to go and fight. She did. She was discovered that she was a woman, and because of that, maybe a few other reasons, she was put to death.
Which, man, burn, that would be, like, one of the ways I would not want to go.
Be one of the worst ways to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've often thought about, like, sitting in a pot like a lobster, you know, like a live one, and I'm like, nope, wouldn't want that either.
Yeah.
And then, like, having seen Volcano and what's the Dante's Inferno, or is that it?
Or Dante's
Peak? That's what it was. Dante's Inferno is a different film. But those ways that those people die, like, being burned, boiled, and...
I mean, just think when you touch something accidentally hot.
Yeah.
And how it hurts so bad.
A long-ass time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like all over, and it's constant, and oh my gosh.
Do you think J.R. Tolkien, he took any influence from some of his, from Joan of Arc into his characters?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I am no man. Chop.
I mean, he was, an
avid reader.
Yeah.
Loved history.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can see
And
all
literacy and all that. So yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah. Today, also on May 29th, this is 1911, the first Indianapolis 500 automobile race was run in Indianapolis, Indiana, and it was won by Ray Harron. It took him 6 hours and 42 minutes to win the race.
Yeah, the Indy 500.
They get put through a lot of, like, G-force. I don't know. This might piss off a lot of, like, people, but I don't consider it, like, a sport.
I think car racing is fucking stupid. I'm just throwing it out there.
Another right turn. Another right turn.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just turning around the track over and over and over and over and over again.
Actually, so this year, because of the higher gas prices, they're actually thinking about changing it to the Indianapolis 400.
Yeah.
Just kidding. You've done some racing though, right?
I've done drag racing, yes.
Yeah.
That's fun as shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Especially if it's in, like, because I did it in kind of a professional enclosed environment.
Right.
I went down to Rocky Mountain Raceway and hopped in one of their cars. I think it was like
Mustang?
Souped up Mustang.
Yeah. I thought you got to pick from a couple of different ones or whatever was
They had
there.
a couple there, and it was just kind of like whatever car you were put in, but yeah.
I told you, because it was automatic. If it was like manual, I'd give you some other tips, but where it was like automatic, I think that you should have just like had your left foot on the gas, you know, and your right foot on the brake, and just waiting for that, like, that green light, and just.
I basically did.
Really?
Yeah. I beat the X.
Yeah.
Pretty much every time we raced.
You're like, that's right.
It's about the only thing I ever beat her at.
May 29th, 1942. American singer and actor Bing Crosby recorded the holiday classic White Christmas, which became one of the best-selling singles of all time.
I think it's the best.
Right?
Yeah.
It's got to be for sure up there. I know it's in competition with like Thriller with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, there's
and Beatles.
Yesterday by the Beatles.
Right.
But I think it might have the top spot, just like all time.
Yeah.
I just want to check.
He didn't even come up with the song, but like he sang it best.
Selling. Yeah, he did. Singles of all time. Let's see. Number one selling song of all time. Yeah, White Christmas.
Oh, dang. Okay.
The number one best-selling song of all time is White Christmas.
I watched that Christmas movie every single year with like my family, or I did growing up.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notable movies that came out today. Number 1, Up, released in 2009.
Okay.
2, Sister Act, released in 1992.
Okay.
With Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
3, Michael Jackson, Search for Neverland, released in 2017. That felt like to me more like a documentary.
Yeah.
4, Drag Me to Hell, released in 2009. I remember my younger brother loving this movie, but I saw it and I'm like, that's some nasty vomit. Like that when she was getting like exercise.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a good film. It's a fun film.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it, it's worth a watch.
Right. And then one last one, The Internship, released in 2013. One of the few Vince Vaughn movies that I actually like.
Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Working for Google.
Yeah. That one was actually... I kind of like those movies for whatever reason.
I saw it once in the theaters. I've never watched it again. But I remember liking it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's one of those movies where it's just... It's not a franchise film. It's not a blockbuster. It's just
a filler movie.
Yeah, it's a filler movie.
Yeah, a decent filler movie, but a filler movie.
It's a filler comedy. Here you go. Yeah, and it was good. It was funny.
Good thing our podcast isn't one of those. We're more like on par with like the MCU.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
A blockbuster, Troy.
Yeah.
We're no filler podcast.
We're more like a superhero film that was released in like a TV movie from the 70s.
Oh. I thought you were gonna at least say like Daredevil, not Green Lantern, but like
No. We're like Trials of the Justice League or Justice Friends or whatever that weird 1970s TV movie was.
Wow.
That's how on par we are. But anyway,
there you have it.
There you have it. Let's get to Troy's Toys.
Now it's time for Troy's Toys.
This is a segment we haven't done in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
For those who may not know, I'm an avid toy collector. And so occasionally if I get a really good one or one I really want to talk about, that's what this segment is for. So, I've decided I'm gonna rate it on 4 different what do you call it? 4 different categories.
Yeah.
That's the word.
There you go. Wording.
Words are hard. And each category, I'm going to give it a total of 5 for a possible 20 points. So, let me bring him over here. Well, first, yeah, he's big.
The Goliath.
So, let me get the box. So, first we got the box. This is Gargoyles.
Yeah.
Goliath Ultimate Action Figure.
I was going to say, that's a Goliath action figure. That's probably like one of the biggest ones you've got in your collection.
It's up there. The box is really cool. The box is big. It's got that classic Gargoyles cover on the front there. Surprisingly, fairly affordable.
Oh, not bad at all. Yeah.
I mean, a regular figure usually costs around
$24,
24, 25. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 33. So, it's a good box. So, let's get the figure.
Like, the box isn't one of the categories.
I just want to, yeah. So, yeah, this figure is big. And it's mostly big because of the wingspan.
I would say about 2 feet. Pretty close. 24 inches?
I don't know. Maybe I'd have to measure. But yeah, it's big, and therein. Oh yeah, there's a ruler, and therein is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because these wings, if you can hear,
Oh, that's solid.
just solid plastic.
Yeah.
And so when the wings are in, you cannot pose this guy
Right.
without extreme difficulty, or he's just gonna fall.
Well, I mean, it would be difficult to have them like really super loose. Perhaps they could fold down.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like I have some other figures; they're not up there, but like look at Hawkman right there. Look at his wings.
Yeah.
They can expand and be pretty long, but they can also retract.
Right.
And so I wish those wings did the same.
Visually, they're pretty impressive looking wings.
Yeah, visually they're cool.
Yeah, they've even got like the little veins in between. Yeah, it looks like leather.
Now, I wish, if anything, this top part here and this part here would have been this molded plastic that the tail is.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been ideal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Put an eye out with that. It's just pretty sharp, too.
Yeah, they're heavy duty. So, then the figure itself it looks pretty good. It's got a good sculpt to it, lots of articulation. It's not really a heavy figure.
Does he look a little bit lighter than normal? Or maybe it's because like the comic or the TV show was pretty dark.
He's a little lighter purple than I would have liked.
You're right.
Also, he's a little skinnier than I would have liked.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought he'd be a bit bulkier.
Kind of beefier looking dude, yeah.
He also came with several accessories. So he came with an extra head.
Yeah.
Which he's not snarling and his eyes are visible. Came with a book. I think some sort of ancient tome.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen the cartoon. But he also came with a chili pepper.
Really?
I don't remember the significance of the chili pepper.
The chili pepper.
And then he came with 3 extra hands.
Was that just like extra? Random chili pepper. That I can't remember if it had any significance.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's some sort of significance with the chili pepper. But
And then what was the last thing?
3 hands.
3 hands. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah.
Which I always thought it was weird that they would put 3 hands and not 4.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was odd, but anyway. So, with all that said, let's run down the list here. So, posability. With the wings, posability's it's like at a 2.
Yeah.
But without the wings, it's actually a 4.
Okay.
Because he's got a lot of articulation, and with the hands and everything, it could actually put him in some cool poses. So, I'm going to give it a 3. Just go in the middle there. And then for playability, if you were a kid and had this figure, it'd be really fun to play with because you could put him up against like your MCU or your Transformers or everything.
Oh yeah.
Because
he could go toe to toe with them.
Yeah, and he's proportionally sized to like a normal 6-inch figure. So
right.
So as far as that goes, plus you have like extra hands and stuff, I'd give that a 5.
Okay, wow.
Now, durability.
Yeah.
This thing has already fallen off the table. Because I tried to pose him with the wings and he fell. Didn't even
phase him?
No, didn't even phase him.
Yeah.
The wings didn't even pop out or anything, so.
Oh, wow, okay.
He's durable.
Yeah.
So that's another 5 right there. Accessories. Like I said, he's got the chili pepper, the book, the head, and the hands. I wish he came with 1 more hand. Because it bugs me in my brain. So
odd numbers.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, I'd give that one a 3 too. So I have a possible 20. He gets 16.
That's a pretty solid score.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Put on some good numbers.
And the price is good too, so that also helps.
I kind of almost want to see like what a 10 is, as far like in your rating scale. and then what like a 20, like a perfect score is.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Just so I can kind of like, okay, because I'll typically do that whenever we're rating any of our movies or anything at all. I'll kind of be like, okay, well, I remember giving this one about like a 3 or 2.5 is like kind of right in the middle. You know, it's a little bit better than average. So I do have, and I do have like a perfect 5 up here. So
I do have 2 figures that I can see right now that are perfect scored 20s.
if I had to guess,
Yeah.
I might say there's a Batman figure in there or a Superman.
Nope, not Superman.
Joker?
Nope.
Ninja Turtle?
Yeah.
Which Ninja Turtle, though?
Take a wild guess.
Oh, the top dude. Yeah.
My big Donatello.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a perfect one, and my Michael Keaton Batman figure.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
He
other
looks spot on.
That's the other perfect score.
Yeah.
I do have one that would be pretty much nothing. It's in there. It's in the Toad, but
He doesn't move at all.
it's a Toad figure. It was like one of the very first Marvel Legends figure, and he's fucking worthless. He's pointless. He moves his arms, and that's it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's all he does. So yeah, he's like
a 1?
Yeah. So yeah, there's your contrast right there.
All right, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
All right. Let's get to this week in Geek? Question mark?
This weekend.
Geek.
That 70s show, Tommy Chong, is officially returning as Leo from the hit sitcom from its upcoming sequel series, That 90s Show. The cast of that 90s show is growing, and pretty much, man, they've got at least half of the cast coming back.
So you watched that 70s show.
I did.
I did not.
Mm-hmm.
So who is Leo? What's his story?
Leo, he's a pothead. He was also
Shocking. It's Tommy Chong. Shocking.
Yeah. He was also Hyde's boss when they worked at like the record store.
Who's Hyde?
Curly head dude.
Oh,
got
okay.
like lots of trouble.
Danny Masterson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leo also ran like a photo shop, and he was Hyde's boss.
Okay.
There as well. So he's kind of like he makes guest appearances, but he's pretty damn funny and basically himself. Like there's no acting involved in this at all. Sure. And it'll be kind of interesting to see how they do that. Perhaps he'll be some sort of a CBD oil owner or something. I'm sure he'll be like, I can almost guarantee he'll be some sort of a store owner of something.
I think it'd be funny if he came back and he was like a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
Because like his weed stores or something.
It picked up and took off or something. Yeah. He's like, yeah, moved to Colorado, man.
Or he did a complete 180 and he's like a tech billionaire. That'd be funny.
He's a pastor. That'd be fantastic. He's like, found God, man. I don't need this stuff.
Found God, man. I don't need weed anymore, man.
I found God. That'd be awesome.
I got the only drug I ever need, and that's God, man.
But yeah, it seems like for the most part, because what it's going to be is Eric and so Mila Kunis is going to be coming back.
Of course.
Kitty and Red, they're going to be the grandparents. Eric and Donna, it's going to be their love child. She's going to be the main person that stays with like Eric, Red and Kitty over the summer break.
Oh, really? It's going to be her, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
She's going to be the focus. So they're doing something similar to what they did with like Boy Meets World. You know, Girl Meets World.
Yeah.
Or one of those kind of shows, which hasn't done super well.
No.
I feel like that's kind of a broken formula. I don't know if I necessarily like it or.
Yeah, well, if they get the original writers and directors and get that whole crew back, I think it could be good.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with what happened with Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World is Boy Meets World, he didn't start on the Disney Channel. It was an ABC sitcom that was on like TGIF and, you know.
Yeah.
then it moved to Disney Channel, and so from there now the spinoff is on Disney Channel, and it became a Disney Channel show, Girl Meets
Right.
World.
Yeah.
There was no heart to it. It was just, oh, we're little
They
kids
tried
having
to.
fun.
They force fed it with like Feeny, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it did not work. So yeah, I guess if they keep it in that same vein, I'm really surprised that they actually got Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher back though.
Mm.
I feel like they've kind of grown up past that, evolved past that show. I mean, it's good that they did. I appreciate that they come back to that, but you know how you'll like see these actors that they go on to have like huge successful careers,
Yeah.
and then try to like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and
It might just be a cameo.
yeah, it might. And be weird if you had one without the other, because
Yeah.
they are married in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Mila still does Family Guy and
Right.
stuff like that. So, and Ashton Kutcher made bank off of some of his stock investments. So
Yeah.
it's not like he needs to work or anything.
No. So good on them.
Yeah, good for them.
And I'm pretty sure, like, as far as I know, they've all got like a good rapport, and they all stayed friends after the fact.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Which kind of, I mean, they've got that bond, but it doesn't always happen.
No.
In TV shows.
No.
Like, there's usually like you'll hear stuff, 10 years down the road that they're like, oh, I had all this resentment. I hated this person. I didn't like working with them.
Golden Girls.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They weren't. Yeah. B. Arthur and Betty White. They didn't like each other.
They didn't.
But yeah, I mean, casts like them, casts like Friends,
yeah,
The Office, like they all stay.
Seinfeld?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not so much Seinfeld. Cheers, kind of. Frasier, yeah. But, yeah. But, I mean, like anything else, it's a job. There are coworkers you get along with and coworkers you don't.
Right. Yeah.
It just happens. All right. So this was a cool story. If you've seen movies like The Martian or that really famous Stanley Kubrick movie that I can't think of at the moment because my brain is shutting down because it's the podcast. Oh, fuck. God damn it. It's with Hal 9000. Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
2001 A Space
Odyssey. God. Jesus. It's only one of the biggest movies of all time.
Yeah.
It's like saying, what's that movie with Han Solo? Anyway. Yes, that one. And you thought, well, that's just far off flung fantasy. That could never happen. Well, not so fast, my friend. Because there's a scientist named Dr. Pekka Janhunen, a theoretical physicist for the Finnish Meteorological Institute, who has published a paper, and he says that it is very possible that humans could be living on a space station that orbits the dwarf planet Ceres within the next 15 years.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
He says Ceres is selected because it has nitrogen, which is necessary for an Earth-like atmosphere. The habitats are illuminated by concentrated sunlight produced by plantar and blah, 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 blah. He's basically saying if it could be livable, if any planet could be livable, it might be this one. So it would be conducive for us to live in this. I don't know. It's science stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know I've read it like 18 times. I still don't get it. But the best part is, the coolest part, I think, is that we could start inhabiting space within the next 15 years.
Your dream of like Star Trek is coming true.
It's coming true.
The biggest gripe and complaint that I have with this is we're all concerned like about getting off of Earth because it's eventually going to die.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't we just try to take care of it, guys?
Right. Maybe if we try to move away from fossil fuels and,
Less plastic.
less plastic.
There's some things we can do for sure.
Yeah. But and the funny thing I always say about that is, no matter what we do to the Earth, it's going to survive.
Yeah.
We won't.
Right.
But the Earth will.
Yeah.
So really, we're just trying to save ourselves.
I heard this one thing that it was like, what if the Earth, well, okay, the Earth is a big living thing, but what if all these storms and all these other things are the Earth's way of trying to get us an infection off of it? Yeah.
So, like, global warming is like when we have a fever,
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
A rain, trying to flush it away.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm like, all right.
So I did a little research to this story, and I was just wondering how far away Ceres is from Earth. And if we were to use the rockets we have now, it would take us about 6 years to get there.
Oh, wow.
But NASA is working on a next generation rocket for use for solar system missions. And with those ones, it would only take us, if they do work, just about a year to get there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang. That's not bad. That's more reasonable than 6.
Yeah.
But, like, the crazy thing is don't they typically just kind of set it on a course and be like, shoot it out there as fast as they possibly can? Because what if there's, like, an unforeseen asteroid or something, You're flying out there. I'm sure they've tried to...
I'm sure they've mapped it.
Yeah.
Right.
At least the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But
you never know. You got to plan for all contingencies. You never know what could happen. I've seen movies, life support system could shut down.
Yeah.
Or, you get hit by a little meteor and it throws you off course by 100 light years.
So that's one thing that's always been so crazy is those people that they sleep in a cryogenic sleep chamber and then they wake up and then they just like hop out and they're walking around and running. I'm like, you were just asleep for like 20 plus years.
No. I'm asleep for 6 hours and it takes me about 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And these guys make it look so like so easy.
It's like, look, people that come out of comas. Like, they don't just hop up out of bed like, wow, that was great.
I feel refreshed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes them months. So, yeah.
So, Walmart says it's reviewing its Juneteenth themed ice cream following the backlash online and will remove items as appropriate. The company says the flavor was part of the Walmart's special edition commemorating June 19th, the newest federal holiday, which recognizes the official end of slavery and celebrates the black celebration of black culture. Many criticized the gesture as a form of cultural appropriation. Yeah, this probably wasn't the best move. By them.
Down the story, there's a Twitter comment that says, can you imagine a company creating an ice cream flavor commemorating the end of the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Companies should really think through how they recognize Juneteenth. And I understand what Walmart was trying to do. I mean, they're trying to capitalize on it. I get it.
Right.
But maybe do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
Before you throw it out there. And maybe have, I don't know, a black person on staff
to be like, hey, what do you think about this? Let me run this idea by you.
I don't know. Maybe have one or two of upper management. I mean, it's Walmart, so I'm guessing they don't.
I kind of tried to look into it because I was really curious to know what the flavor was. I couldn't find anything at all. I did find some like horrible jokes about what the flavor might have been, but
tastes like appropriation.
Yeah. I was just like, I still kind of like wonder what it was if they'd already like released it. And they said that they were only going to take back, as they see fit, some of the items. So they'll still be putting out merchandise around June 19th for that.
Yeah.
But because they got some backlash. They're like, let's back off on the ice cream. You know, that's too far. Like, we can have T-shirts, hats, beanies, you know, whatever,
Right.
whatever else we want. But like, you know, the ice cream,
Yeah,
that's where we draw the line.
Yeah.
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 You would think
Come
that
on,
like
guys.
Walmart would be a little bit smarter in this day and age. You know,
You'd think.
or give it a little more thought.
You'd think.
Hmm.
But yeah, Walmart hasn't been known for making good decisions all the time. So
Yeah.
all right, this story was fascinating to me. There was this happened in a Texas Goodwill. There was a statue of a Greek statue that was sold for $35. It was $34.99.
Yeah.
Turns out that statue is actually from ancient Greece.
Seriously.
Or from ancient Rome, excuse me. It's from ancient Rome. According to Design Taxi, a woman named Laura Young stumbled into the bust at a Austin Goodwill in 2018, where it was resting under a table on the floor, no less. The bust cost a cool $34.99. However, an art collector, Young, continued to dig around for info about the bust. Eventually, a Sotheby's consultant named Jorg Dieterling authenticated the bust from the Julio-Claudian era. The Bavarian administration of state-owned palaces, gardens, and lakes further confirmed the authentication.
Yeah, it looks like the bust is going to be displayed in the San Antonio Museum of Art through May 2023.
Then afterwards, they'll return home to Germany. But yeah, the bust may portray the son of Pompey the Great, who was defeated in civil war by Julius Caesar. Yeah, it's crazy. This ancient statue bust was just in a Goodwill.
I imagine, so like this is my guess, somehow it was like passed down through the family. Somebody like from Greece moved over here, you know, their great-great-grandparents or something moved over. It kind of got passed down the family. They're just like, well, I want it. It looks kind of tacky or whatever. Like, let's just take it to Goodwill. And then that's how it got. That's my guess.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to picture a scenario of how this statue would end up in a Goodwill in Texas.
Yeah. Like, Texas of all places.
Yeah, what is the story there? And you're probably right. It was probably a Roman or Greek or whatever family that had this, that just kind of passed it down. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then after a while, they just forgot about it. Or not forgot about it, but didn't realize how significant it was.
Right.
And it's just like, this is just taking up space. Just get rid of that.
Carol,
get rid of this.
We're actually going through, and I think I showed you last week. We were going through like my grandparents' place because one of my aunts is moving back from California and they're living in the house and gonna like refurbish it and stuff. And so they're getting rid of like everything. And there are some like pretty cool looking pieces that I'm like, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna think anything of it and just kind of like throw it away.
Well, that Pinocchio sitting right there, I got from my grandparents after they passed.
Yeah.
And that thing came from Italy.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I think it was made in I looked it up once. I think it was the 1930s or 20s. But yeah.
Worth a pretty penny?
I have no idea. I didn't look how much it was worth.
Huh.
Yeah. But a lot of them were made back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of passed along and forgotten about. Dang. So, True Detective is coming back for a 4th season, and it's going to be starring Jodie Foster. Though Jodie Foster has built a name for herself leading thrillers on the silver screen, her new big project is going to be something a bit different. Deadline reports that Foster has signed on to do True Detective Season 4 to portray Liz Danvers, a detective tasked with the investigation of a mysterious disappearance of 6 people from a research station in Alaska. While Danvers is up to the task of figuring out where and what went wrong, she's going to have to deal with the Arctic Research Station, and yeah, this actually has a lot of potential, and I'm actually a huge fan. Like, Jodie Foster has done some great, gritty movies in the past, so I feel like she's going to bring a lot to this character, and I was so disappointed with, like, the second season. The third season kind of got it back on track, but my favorite is still the first season, so I'm hoping that they can kind of, like, fine-tune it a little bit and actually put out, like, a really decent series.
Well, they're on the right track hiring Jodie Foster, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Have you had a chance to go back on HBO and watch any of these seasons?
No.
You need to. They're only 6 episodes or 8 episodes long, and it is some of the best acting, at least the first season, from Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. It's in my top 5 TV shows, like, seasons of all time.
Wow, okay.
It's worth a watch.
All right.
That would be kind of fun to film in Alaska, though, right? Like, especially if you're using more, like, natural light and kind of, getting out in the cold.
It'll be cold as shit, but
yeah,
hey, that might help the performance. I don't know.
Right? You're like, only one take because, like, my hands are freezing.
Yeah. So we know that Daredevil is back in the MCU, right? We've already seen him,
right,
in Spider-Man,
which was still a really cool scene, and people have gone back and kind of, like, analyzed that to figure out whether he's faster than Spidey senses, you know? So yeah.
We've also seen Kingpin.
Yes,
he's in the MCU. We know that
from Hawkeye.
Yep. Well, now another one is coming over. It's been revealed that Krysten Ritter will be returning as Jessica Jones in an upcoming MCU project, although we don't know which project it'll be. This news was revealed by Screen Geek in a recent exclusive article. Here's what they had to say about Krysten Ritter returning as Jessica Jones. Our sources, have told us that Krysten Ritter will indeed be playing Jessica Jones for a new MCU project, though we aren't able to confirm what the project is.
I'm perfectly fine with them taking Iron Fist and leaving him out of the MCU.
Yeah.
But I would also like to see Luke Cage in the picture as well. That'd be kind of cool. I was just trying to think where he'd fit in, or in, like, how do they kind of, like, bring him in? Is he just walking by in the streets of, the streets in New York or something?
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
Just happens to walk by.
Like, just in the background, gives, like, a thumbs up or something as he walks by. That'd be funny. But yeah, I think that'd be cool. After Daredevil, Jessica Jones was my favorite Netflix Marvel show.
You said the second season it gets even better, right?
Yes. Yep.
I'd started it, watched like the first 2 episodes, and for whatever reason something else came up, or I don't know. Yeah. There's so much content now.
That's why I haven't watched True Detective yet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
Right? It's so dang cool. Like, I was thinking about that just the other day. It's just like, man, we've got Obi-Wan, we've got Stranger Things, we've got all, like, I had Death, Love, and Robots. I was just like,
Stranger Things just came out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another one I gotta watch.
Right?
Fuck. Just so much.
Right. But it's great at the same time because there's so much content for us to talk about, you know?
Yeah.
It's a love-hate thing. And, like, it doesn't quite feel like a job because I still love it, and I'm very passionate about all these different, like, projects and stuff. but
Imagine if we were doing like a podcast back in like the mid-90s.
oh,
Like, what the fuck were we going to talk about?
yeah.
It's like, you remember Batman Returns? That was the epitome of the superhero film.
That'll forever be my Batman.
It'll never get better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geek is in full force. They were talking about, so they had a couple of different, I can't remember who I was watching, something like on YouTube, where they were talking about, you've got the Disney dynasty, and then you've got the Pixar, dynasty as well, and then you've got the MCU, and we're kind of still in the MCU, but it feels like the next one, and this is what people are predicting, is the A24. Because they keep putting out like blockbusters.
Yeah, so maybe the
horror,
the independent horror, the indie movie.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Right. I finally did get around to seeing X though.
Did you?
Oh, I loved it. You were right. I enjoyed it.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah. I love how it goes full circle. Yeah. And there was a couple of kills that I laughed out loud.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of that,
yes,
let's get to our Revs and Rex.
You're all over the place with these today, dude.
Do people know that Revs and Rex stands for reviews and recommendations?
I hope so.
I was thinking about that today. Like, should we re-clarify that? It's reviews and recommendations.
Yes.
Revs and Rex. Okay.
It makes perfect sense.
It is. I'll remind people again in another 8 years.
So the third season came out just a couple of days ago of Love, Death, and Robots. I've been talking about it from the beginning. It's basically a bunch of independent filmmakers that do these animated shorts, and then they compile them together and put out an awesome season. The first season was fantastic and had me hooked. The second season, it was alright. The third season, however, it relies heavily on CGI. Visually, it's impressive, and some of the things that they do, like, it's insane what they can do with like the technology that they have today. And yeah, I was blown out of the water by how cool it was. Visually it looked, but the problem that I ran into is the storytelling was really lacking. Like, it was probably one of the weakest seasons of the bunch.
Really?
Yeah, for sure, as far as storytelling goes. Visually, it was top-notch for sure, and there's a couple of them, like, there's this one, it's based off of another short story, I believe, and it's about a fisherman, like these guys that are at sea, and this huge crab that's like a killer crab that wants to go to this island that's heavily populated, like, lays its baby eggs, and it's like hiding down in the depths of this ship, and they're having to feed people to it, kind of a deal. But that was probably one of my favorite stories out of the bunch, and there was a couple of them that were all right. But yeah, this one I believe only had 6 or 7 episodes. 7 or 8 episodes, but the storytelling was kind of lacking, and a couple of them, they ended pretty abruptly that I'm like, wait, is that at the end there? So, out of 5 killer rats, I'm going to have to go with 2.5. Visually, it's worth watching, and it kind of stays true to what they've done from the beginning, but yeah, it was alright. Sorry, I know I jumped the gun, but I was really passionate and wanted to talk about love, death, and robots.
I have to talk about it right now.
I did.
Yeah, so I saw a couple movies this week.
Yeah.
The first one, The Bad Guys, rated PG. This is an animated film from DreamWorks.
I've heard it's similar to like Ocean's 11.
Yeah, kind of.
Really?
There's this gang of thieves. They're animals that are a lot of time looked at as like quote unquote the most dangerous. So there's a wolf, a snake, a shark,
Yeah.
a tarantula, and a piranha. That's the gang.
Okay.
And they're like the best thieves, the world's best thieves. And they go for this one major score, which is it's this award that they give out to like model citizens. I think it's called like the Golden Gecko or gold something. It's a big gold statue.
Yes.
And they're like, we're going to steal that. Well, they end up getting caught. But in order to avoid jail time, they make a deal to essentially become model citizens.
Okay.
There's more to it than that, but essentially that's...
Yeah.
So it becomes a story of, what do? Do you
Stay true to...
stay true to who you are, stay true to, biology and what everybody thinks of you.
Nature, nurture kind of a thing.
Or do you break out of that mold and become what people don't see you as, become what you could be despite what you look like,
Right.
essentially.
Okay.
And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad for what's essentially an animated kids movie. Now, because it is a kids movie, you're gonna have dumb jokes like the piranha farts toxic gas.
Oh, geez.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. And because it's DreamWorks, you got to have that really over-the-top weird character, like that security guard in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing in this one, only it's a police officer, a woman police officer, and she's just over the top. But anyway, by the premise, by the bit, I guess. But the cast is actually really good. So you have Sam Rockwell as Mr. Wolf. Richard Ayoade, I don't know how to say his name. As Professor, I don't know, he's a little guinea pig. You have Aquafina as Miss Tarantula.
She's been in a lot of things
A
lately.
lot of crap, yeah. You have Anthony Ramos as Mr. Piranha. You have Zazie Beetz as Diane Foxington. Craig Robinson from The Office, speaking of The Office, he's Mr. Shark. And Mark Maron as Mr. Snake.
That's a pretty solid cast.
Cast is great.
Yeah.
Voice cast is awesome. The premise, it's extremely predictable.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. You know where it's going to go.
Right.
But visually, it's the art's really good. The animation's pretty good. A lot of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like they're anthropomorphic animals that wear clothes and everything, but there's also people, like just normal people.
Yeah.
And they all just live in one city. Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Whatever. They never explained that, but so yeah, it'd be a good one to take if you have kids. But there are a few jokes in there for the adults, for the grown-ups to enjoy.
Right.
But like I said, you know where it's gonna go from minute one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a couple laugh out loud moments for me. But yeah, I mean it's an animated DreamWorks film, and you know what you're getting into. So out of 5 meteors, love meteors, I'm like a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a filler movie. It's
right.
fine. It's
a
fine.
good filler until you get to Top Gun.
Right. Then you get the Top Gun.
Yes.
Which I also saw. Now, I had a really strange experience seeing this movie.
Okay.
So, I saw it after work. I got off a little early for work on Thursday. I went to go see it. And And
Purposely, so you got off of work early to go see it, right?
No.
You just happened to, and you're like, all right, I got some time to kill.
Yeah. I was going to see it anyway
Yeah.
this weekend, but that was just a good time to do it. So I get to the theater I'm going to. Parking lot's packed.
Yeah.
Packed. Right?
Megaplex?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking, okay, it's just me, so I'm sure I could find a seat somewhere, right? So I'm on my phone. I'm checking availability for the seats. You got the 6 o'clock showing, fairly full. You got another showing, it's like at 7, I think, fairly full. But then there's this one showing, and I got there around 6:30-ish. One showing at 6:45.
Yeah.
There's no way. I click on that one. It's empty.
No way.
There is no one in the
Was that one of the ones that they just like threw in last minute?
I don't know.
Huh.
So I'm like, that can't be right. But I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So I go in, lobby again, packed. There's people selling booths with like selling aviator glasses, sunglasses and stuff. And I'm like, this can't be right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the only one in this theater. There's no way. There's got to be some sort of glitch that there's more seats sold, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I go and get my stuff, go in and sit in there, and it's 6:35-ish, starts about 10 minutes, nobody. 6:40.
For a brand new movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody. I'm like, this is weird. And I know the other showings are full.
Right.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, am I supposed to be? Is this like an employee screening or something? Like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm. You almost like want to walk out, look back at it,
yeah,
look around.
Am I in the right theater? Am I like what is going on? But yeah, I sat there and watched this. This has never happened. This blockbuster tentpole summer film opening week. I saw it by myself in the theater.
This is like one of those wealthy rich people that just want to see a movie by themselves, right?
It was so weird. I liked it.
That'd be awesome.
It was awesome.
Kick your feet up, enjoy it, yeah.
But it was weird.
And then when you were walking out and the people are walking in to clean the theater, they just had to go to your spot.
just me.
Yeah.
But it was nice to go because I was sitting there texting the GF and I was looking up casts and stuff. I'm sitting there watching it.
Oh, I love it. Like that's so great with those movies. I've done that with a couple of them. It makes it kind of nice. Sometimes I will sit in the handicap seat up front because there's that. Well, okay, if you get to the theater late, all the other seats are taken. I'm just like, might as well. I'll buy a front row seat, but I'll just sit back there. Because it's nice because they also have plug-ins for your phone charger.
Right.
So I'll just because my phone's shit. So I'll plug it in.
We've established that.
Yeah. So I'll plug it in, like be texting people, kind of watching the movie, enjoying myself, It feels like a movie experience, but at the same time, like as if you're watching it at home.
Right.
Yeah. It's the best of both worlds.
Best place to do that is go to, man, my voice today. See, it happens every time we record.
Yeah.
Go to the Cinemark.
Okay.
And the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, I do that, yeah.
Yeah, because they have those big barricades and the luxury seats.
Yeah. That's exactly where I go, too, yeah. I have this beef with one of my coworkers that he loves the Megaplex. Like, he goes all out. Like, he would sleep with the Megaplex if it was possible. But I prefer Tinseltown 14 for whatever reason. I think the seats go back a little bit further, and I don't know.
It depends on my mood,
really?
Honestly. Yeah. Like because obviously we live really close to a Megaplex.
Yeah.
And they usually have more showings, so if I just kind of show up randomly, I can usually get into one. And
they also do have a lot more theaters as well. Yeah. So they're going to be showing a lot more, maybe movies that wouldn't necessarily make it into, if it's not one of the big six, it's not making it in there, but Megaplex has the room.
But if I plan and, want just like a nice experience, or if there's like a Fathom event or something, I'll always go to Cinemark.
Oh yeah,
always.
And I do love that Cinemark also shows a lot of like the anime and animated films, like some of the older classics.
Yeah,
they throw those up there pretty often, which I enjoy.
Yeah. Anyway, Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
So Yeah, this is obviously a direct sequel from the 1986 film Maverick, or Top Gun, I mean. Excuse
Did
me.
you go back and watch it? Or you knew the premise?
Interesting story. The first time I ever watched Top Gun was literally about a year ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've
First time ever.
never seen it all the way through. Yeah.
It's fine. It's an 80s film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a direct sequel, but this time, Maverick, Tom Cruise, Pete Mitchell, he is recruited by the Navy to go back to the Top Gun program to train these pilots, these Top Gun graduates, for this secret mission.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get the dynamic of where in the first movie he was a student giving crap to the,
To the teacher.
to the teachers,
Yeah.
being the rambunctious one. Now it's the opposite. Now he's a teacher, and they're calling him like old man and stuff like that. And one of the things that happens is one of these recruits is, I don't know how much you know about the Top Gun film, but spoilers for a movie from 1986. Maverick's wingman Goose dies.
Right.
From a malfunction. And Goose's son ends up being one of these recruits.
Okay.
In this program.
Yeah.
So there's some tension there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Maverick is kind of watched, because Goose was his best friend, so he's kind of watched over this kid, and yeah. And there's some other things that pop up, some other secrets that pop up. But so yeah, Tom Cruise is back. Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm as the admiral who isn't putting up with Maverick shit.
Yeah.
Miles Teller plays Rooster. That's Goose's son. And I don't know what to think about Miles Teller. Like, in some movies I like him, in some movies I don't.
Same. Like, I thought he was fantastic in, like, Whiplash.
Whiplash, he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But then he does, like...
Fantastic Four?
Yeah! What the fuck? But then he does... And this one, he's good. He's good in this one. And that's the other thing. The performances in this are great. And the visuals are amazing, because I think they're actually flying these jets.
They are. Yeah. That was one of the reasons. So, Tom Cruise only agreed to come back and do this if he could fly them and also train these other guys to legit fly them. They had to put their makeup on while they're like flying in these things. And yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes, work that went into this for sure.
Yeah. And so the visuals from that are amazing because the cameras are in the cockpit. And so you see them take off, and you see them actually fly through these canyons, and it's crazy.
I think going over Miles Teller's IMDb, I'm sitting at about like 40%, 40-60 as far as like movies that I like of his. Yeah, you got Whiplash, I liked. War Dogs, enjoyed. Fantastic Four, trash. Project X, Bleed for This, I enjoyed. Footloose, never saw. The Divergent series.
Yeah.
Only the Brave. I actually didn't like that movie that much. Thank You for Your Service. Yeah. It's hit or miss.
It is.
Yeah.
But this is one of his better ones.
Okay.
I think he gives a pretty good performance in this. So does Tom Cruise. And it's hard for me to remove Tom Cruise the person from Tom Cruise the actor.
Right.
Because he's such a trash person, but he's a really, really good actor. So if you can do that, if you can separate the two, he gives a great performance in this. And Val Kilmer shows up.
Okay.
As Iceman. He's back as Iceman.
How's he looking?
Good, actually. He doesn't talk. because he kind of can't.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He kind of types on a keyboard on a screen, and then yeah, it's kind of how he communicates. He does whisper though, and I don't know if the whisper was put in after if it was somebody else or if it was him. But yeah. So if you're a fan of the original movie of Top Gun, you're gonna love this one because it hits a lot of the same beats.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very much like the original film.
You get that volleyball scene?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
It's not shirtless volleyball though. It's shirtless football.
Oh,
Beach
okay.
football.
Yeah.
But it's different because they're playing both offense and defense.
Oh.
See, like you would when you're flying jets in the air.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know his explanation. It was something like that. So out of 5 jets, I guess.
That's easy. Yeah.
I'm at like a 3.5.
Okay. All right.
Honestly, I mean, like I said, the performances are good. It's fun. The visuals are amazing. But it does suffer from gotta hit the same beats as the first one. Like,
right.
Yeah. Like you could lay one on top of the other, and it's basically the same film.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit more like a remake than an actual like sequel.
Yeah, almost.
Okay.
Almost. All right. Here's where you can listen to us. You can hear all of our episodes plus our bonus DLC episodes at patreon.com/WorldWarG.
Or you can listen to just the episodes at worldwarg.podbeam.com or wherever you download your podcasts.
If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can find us at facebook.com/WorldWarG podcast. If you'd like to purchase our merchandise or perch some merch, you can head to worldwarg.myspreadshop.com.
Also, if you'd like to show your support for the podcast, the best place to do that is to rate us, give us a review, share us.
So, this has been World War G. That has been AJ.
That has been Troy.
Stay geeky, my friends.